Even as world leaders urge peace, the United States of America has blocked multiple attempts for a joint declaration by the United Nations Security Council. In the US, more than 24 Democrats have called for an immediate ceasefire in the Middle East. However, the Joe Biden administration continues to vouch for a more restrained approach to the Israel-Palestine conflict. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Tuesday defended the Biden administration's approach, saying intensive diplomatic discussions are the key to reduce the raging conflict.
The president's objective is clear, which is that he wants to see an end to the violence on the ground, an end to the suffering of the Israeli and the Palestinian people. As I've noted in the past, our focus and our strategy here is to work through quiet, intensive diplomacy, and he's been doing this long enough to know that the best way to end an international conflict is typically not to debate it in public. So we will continue to remain closely engaged behind the scenes.
According to an Associated Press report, Biden and his team have privately urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to wind down aerial bombardments in Gaza. Top US officials have called on Israeli forces to stop the airstrikes, suggesting that time is not on their side in terms of international objections towards Israeli retaliation to rocket fire from Hamas. President Joe Biden voiced support for a ceasefire on Monday as intensifying violence between Israel and Hamas entered the second week. During a telephone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Biden expressed his support for a ceasefire to end the violence. It was the first time the White House officially made mention of a ceasefire in its ongoing efforts to contain the situation. This support for a ceasefire, however, has not quelled the brewing anger against the Biden administration. An administration official familiar with the call said the decision to express support and not explicitly demand a ceasefire was intentional, while Biden and top aides are concerned about the mounting bloodshed and loss of life. The decision not to demand a truce reflects the determination of the White House to support Israel's right to defend itself from Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups. The Palestinian ambassador to the United Nations on Tuesday challenged the Biden administration to show results from what it is calling quiet diplomacy to stop the clashes. Ambassador Riyad Mansour pointed to the US for repeatedly blocking a UN Security Council action on the conflict, and he urged the Biden administration to do more to stem the crisis. He has also called on the UNSC for their absolute inaction in resolving this conflict.
This is what we are talking about. The Security Council is shameful act of not even expressing a unified position calling for the end of this aggression. Where should the poor go? Where should the weak go? Isn't the UN the house of all people? And isn't it the house to help the vulnerable? Why are you closing the doors before us?
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.